A man who cannot command himself will be commanded by a woman. In every glance, every challenge, every flicker of her mood, there is a silent trial taking place. You don't see it. Most men never do. But she is watching, not for your charm, not for your compliments. She is watching for your spine. A woman's tests are not acts of cruelty, they are acts of nature. Ancient instincts buried deep within her biology. She is not choosing to test you. Her DNA is doing it for her, and if you do not pass, she will never feel safe beside you. Women evolved not to fight lions, but to choose the man who could. Their entire survival depended on one ancient decision: who to trust with their life, their body, their future. That decision became more than instinct. It became a biological radar, fine-tuned to detect strength, leadership, and certainty without a single word spoken. She doesn't even know she's scanning you, but her body does, her intuition does, and it sees everything. This is why women are more socially calibrated. They read tone the way a soldier reads footsteps in the dark. They pick up hesitation in your voice like it's a war drum sounding retreat. They see your eyes shift, your shoulders slump, your posture betray you. She sees the difference between a man who says, "Let's go here," and a man who says, "Whatever you want, babe." Every time you defer, you announce your absence. Every time you ask her to decide, you step off the throne. Every time you surrender the wheel, you confirm her worst fear. She is alone in the car. And so the test intensifies, because that answer, "whatever you want," tells her something chilling. You are not leading, you are following. And if you are following, who is protecting her? Now ask yourself, how many times have you handed over the wheel just to avoid tension? How many times have you collapsed your power in the name of keeping the peace? That is not peace, that is decay. Her tests are rarely direct. They come disguised, wrapped in subtleties, delivered in moments most men dismiss as ordinary. A joke at your expense, a delayed reply, a flirty comment about another man, a sudden coldness after a warm embrace. These aren't accidents. These aren't random. These are microstorms designed by instinct, engineered to provoke your core. Every time you laugh nervously at the joke, you signal weakness. Every time you double text after her silence, you show neediness. Every time you ignore the red flag to keep her close, you abandon yourself. She isn't trying to destroy you. She's trying to locate you. She is asking, can he stay calm? Can he stay grounded? Can he hold the frame when I shake it? Will he chase me or correct me? Will he bend or will he build? Think of the silent man in the boardroom. He doesn't react to the mocking voice. He doesn't flinch when challenged. And when he speaks, the entire room stops. That is the energy she is testing for. Not words, not noise, gravity. How many times have you traded gravity for acceptance? How many times have you collapsed your spine just to keep her attention? If you fold, if you flinch, if you explain yourself, she won't hate you. Hatred is loud. What she feels is quieter, colder. She feels disappointment. And that is far worse. Most men confuse being liked with being loved. They crave her smile like it's the sun, not realizing she's watching for their shadow. They appease. They apologize. They say what they think she wants to hear, not what needs to be said. They seek her approval like a child seeks his mother's nod, not as a man who leads, but as a boy who obeys. Every time they tiptoe around tension, they shrink. Every time they over-explain, they confess doubt. Every time they say yes to avoid discomfort, they sell pieces of their spine. But a woman cannot respect a man she has to lead. She may smile, she may stay, she may even pretend. But inside, something breaks. Her desire dries up in the presence of weakness. If she feels she can move you, she will never feel moved by you. If she senses you adjust your truth to maintain her comfort, she will stop trusting your center. She does not want a partner she can dominate. She does not want to rule over you. She wants to rest under you, under your mission, under your clarity, under your command. How many times have you dimmed your light so she wouldn't squint? How many times have you softened your truth to keep her close? What she wants is not the man who pleases everyone. What she wants is the one man who cannot be bent. She wants a force she cannot shake, a soul she cannot seduce out of position. A man who will not kneel, not because he is cruel, but because he is called. Pass her tests by embodying what she is searching for: command, not control, not aggression, but sovereign, quiet command. You do not explain, you state. You do not chase, you invite. You do not react, you decide. You are rooted, calm, still. Your movements are minimal, your energy is dense, your presence makes noise without sound. When she escalates, you lower your tone. When she pulls away, you continue your mission. When she throws chaos, you remain composed. Every time you stay still when others panic, you show her you can lead. Every time you hold your frame when she pushes it, you prove you are not pretending. Every time you stay focused when she throws fire, you teach her where the real warmth is. Imagine a fire in a stone hearth during a storm. The wind howls, the trees bend, but the fire burns on, contained, unwavering. That is you. You are the still fire, the disciplined heat, the unmoved mover. You are the man who does not flinch. You are the man who does not explain. You are the man who does not move. Now ask yourself, how many times have you let noise distract you from purpose? How many times have you met her storm with more wind instead of more flame? Return to the stillness, return to the fire, return to the throne. It won't happen instantly, but something inside her will shift, something primal, something ancient. Not with words, not with logic, but with silence. The tension in her voice will soften, her movements will slow, her eyes will linger a second longer. The chaos in her chest will pause, just long enough for her body to ask, is this safety? She will begin to trust you, not because you begged for it, not because you performed for it, but because you proved you are real. Not with talk, but with tension. Not with promises, but with presence. And she may test again. She may poke, provoke, push, but each time you do not move, something deeper awakens in her. Every time you stay rooted, she feels her chaos find direction. Every time you don't flinch, she finds stillness in your frame. Every time you don't chase, she draws closer. The storm inside her calms in the presence of a man she cannot shake. And when the storm calms, she remembers what peace feels like. And the moment she realizes you will not fold, no matter the weather, no matter the pressure, no matter the temptation to trade truth for comfort, she folds into you. Now ask yourself, how many times have you been close to this moment, but betrayed it by blinking? How many times did you feel her soften only to ruin it with a need to be seen? There is no need to be seen when you are the mountain. She sees you. Trust that. Hold that. Become that. You were not born to be liked. You were born to be forged. In the fire, in the tension, in the unrelenting pressure of the world and the women who reflect it. You are the steel that must be tested again and again. Not because she hates you, not because life is cruel, but because the masculine is not gifted. It is proven. Every test is a trial. Every challenge is a chisel. Every storm is a sharpening. And each time you endure it without complaint, you become more of what you were meant to be. She will test you not to destroy you, but to polish you, to sand off the weakness, to reveal the core beneath the performance. She tests to see if you are truth or theater. When you pass, you do not just earn her respect, you invite her surrender. You awaken something buried in her, in you, in the collective memory of man and woman. You awaken the ancient truth in both of you, that she is the flame, wild, moving, alive. But you are the forge, contained, focused, eternal. Now ask yourself, how many times have you run from the fire? How many times have you feared the very pressure that could have shaped you? This is the burden of masculinity, and it is also the gift. Not everyone will carry it. Most will run. But if you choose to stay in the fire, still, quiet, sovereign, you become the thing she cannot break and the man the world cannot ignore. Society told you she wants an equal partner, a 50-50 deal. But equality is not what her body craves. It never was. Equality sounds nice, but it kills polarity. Two flames without a hearth, two rudders, no ship, and when the waves come, who leads? She may say she wants to split the decisions, the bills, the power. But in the silence between her words, her nature is asking for something older. She doesn't want equal. She wants aligned. She wants to feel your gravity so she can orbit. Every time you defer to her when she doesn't ask you to, you shake her foundation. Every time you say whatever works, she hears, I have no center. A woman cannot fall into a man who is already falling into her. Imagine two people lost in the woods. They both want safety, but one needs the other to say, this way. If both wait, both die. She is testing whether you will lead, whether you will risk her momentary resistance for long-term reverence. How many times have you leveled yourself down in the name of fairness? How many times have you met her leadership with silence? She doesn't want a man who waits for permission. She wants the man who earns devotion. Stillness isn't cheap. Presence isn't free. Remaining calm when everything screams for you to react, that is a spiritual tax. Most men can't pay it. So they bargain. They nod when they should correct. They flatter when they should command. They vanish into compliance. They choose comfort, because comfort feels like safety. But safety built on self-erasure is a coffin. There's a price for stillness. You might lose her for a while. You might lose the approval of friends. You might lose the illusion of peace, but you keep your soul. And in time, she feels that. Story: a man tells his truth. She leaves, she cries, she calls him cruel. But weeks later she returns, not for apology but for certainty. Not for softness but for spine. Because even when she hated his stance, she trusted it. Every time you choose your truth over temporary harmony, you build muscle. Every time you hold frame in a storm, you build gravity. Every time you stand alone, you stand taller. Ask yourself, when was the last time you chose discomfort over dishonor? How often have you smiled just to survive the moment? Comfort feels good in the short term, but only truth feels strong in the long term. Some tests don't shout, they wait. They don't poke, they watch. She is watching over months, not moments. Watching if your power is a performance or a practice. Anyone can posture for a week. But are you the same man in 6 months? 1 year? 10? The deepest form of attraction is built through time. She watches when you're tired, when you're busy, when you're overlooked, when you're tempted. Every time you remain steady, she believes a little more. Every time you stay on mission, she melts a little deeper. Every time you keep your word, even when she forgets, you build the bridge she'll one day cross. A king isn't judged in his victories, but in his famine. Time reveals what tension begins. Have you confused urgency with power? Have you traded consistency for fireworks? Real power isn't rushed. Real power waits, and the woman who is worth it watches. Stay the course. Stay unshaken. Stay rare.